All right, just sitting here. I am Joe Murray with you on this Monday afternoon. Hello, everybody. Going solo today. No guests. Going to be one of those weeks for me today. I got some guests coming up possibly at some point this week, but just riding solo today. I'm going to do some Q&A, of course. I got a lot of stuff that I wanted to get off my chest just from a re-entry from the weekend. So share some stuff with you guys coming up in just a little bit. Of course, just wanted to let everybody know we have done 44 shows of just sitting here. And you can listen on Spotify, YouTube, and on iTunes. So appreciate everybody that's been listening to the shows. Been getting a lot of positive feedback, some things going on. So truly appreciate everybody that's been listening out there. So just wanted to thank you guys for that. But just to set the table today, we have phase 2 here in Boston. Get some thoughts for you in just a minute here on that. Also, UFC 250 from the weekend. It's a pretty good event, but also some news regarding Conor McGregor that I wanted to get into. There was NXT last night. Always some wrestling thoughts for you here, Major League Baseball. I have an interesting plan for the NBA as well. I think there's something that the NBA could adopt during this time here before the playoffs start when it comes to the draft lottery. And also bought a new grill this weekend. I want to share that some of that stuff with you guys as well. And saw a few movies, so I want to do some movie suggestions at the end of the show today. So, of course, you can chat in. We already got Morrison checking in here. Sup, Joe? Just do that right there, either on Facebook, Periscope, or Twitter. You can chat right in. Any questions or answers that you want to send in today, you can certainly do that here on Just Sitting Here. And once again, I am Joe Murray. Just sitting here. I'm from 98.5 The Sports Hub. Got the call in today. Worked this morning with Toucher and Rich, and now I'm back here. So I'll be with you guys probably about 45 minutes or so. I'll try to, as long as you guys want to get in there. Someone just throwing this one out at me. Joe, name your top Route 1 landmarks. And for me, it's Kowloon, right? Like when you get over the bridge, you see Cappy's right away. But Kowloon is one. Hooters on the left-hand side. I like Angela's, if you like the pizza joint right there. That's pretty good. There's Prince Pizza on the left. That's good stuff. I'm trying to think of what else we have there. The Polcari's, which has the Regina's Pizza. That's always the good stuff. If you're on the way back, there's always the Dinosaur as well and Cane's Donuts. There used to be the Ship. That's gone. The Christmas tree shop's there. And, of course, the Golden Banana, right? And if you want to keep going down Route 1, you got Red's. Red's is awesome. I like the Sea Witch. Pretty good fried clams if you go there. The Cabaret's on the left-hand side. I think you keep going down. You got the Breakaway Diner. If you keep going down that way. So, yeah, if you want to throw in that kind of stuff there, I just nailed that with you real quick. I just literally went up and down Route 1 there. So that was fun. But just wanted to get into the phase 2 stuff. Begins today. Traffic picked up. I left the house at about 6:25 today. Traffic definitely picked up, so be aware of that going forward here. But it's glad that we can actually have some outside dining here in the Boston area. So please, respect everybody. I'm sure the lines are going to suck. I'm sure that there's going to be long waits. There might be short wait staff, all that stuff. So just be kind, but at the same time, enjoy it, man. You're going to be outside. The weather's today's a beautiful 72 degrees today. This is my type of weather. It's really not beach weather or pool weather, but 72 degrees outside on the back porch, having a sip of a brew. This is perfect weather for today. But the phase 2 is opening. So we're starting to see now things getting back to reality just a little bit. Of course, it is controlled, but things are starting to get back to normal just a little bit here. And, we can get restaurant seating, drinks outside. And obviously there's some things we still can't do. But overall, take advantage of that. I know New Hampshire, you've been able to go outside, have drinks. They've been having a field day. But these nurses are going to be wearing masks. Not nurses, the waitresses and wait staff are going to be wearing masks, hustling. Some of them are probably just there just to help somebody out. So just keep that in mind while phase 2 is happening. And then a couple of people checking in. Traffic has been building up out of Boston on the ramp to 93. It has. And again, today at 7 o'clock. I get up. I leave the house before 5 o'clock. So in the morning. So, but I have been going to Boston of late. My family's still in Hyde Park, and I go from the North Shore down to there, and I still run into some traffic every now and then. So phase 2, we can finally get drinks outside, and I can't wait to go to my favorite restaurant, the Kowloon, and drink Scorpion Bowls under the sun. That should just be a name of a show. Scorpion Bowls under the sun with Joe Murray. Just sitting here, drinking Scorpion Bowls under the sun at Kowloon. Maybe we can get a sign for that over at the Kowloon for me. So that could be fun. So phase 2 underway. Glad to hear that. Also, I just wanted to mention the pod class that we had going on. It's almost filled up. So I appreciate everyone in there, that are interested in learning how to do a podcast. But I'll share it one more time. Myself and the Sarge, Mike Riley, we're going to tell you what equipment to use, audio editing software. If you want to do video streaming like the one I'm doing right here, we can show you that as well. How to brand your podcast, the best ways to post to platforms, and more. So that class is Tuesday, June 16th. It's going to be on Zoom. It's at 6:30. I think we want to keep it a certain number, and I think we have about 5 more left. And if it really builds up, we're going to add a second class. So I think we have 5 more left for this class. So get them in. Go to Twitter. Add Joey Murray on Twitter if you're watching on there now. There's a link. We'll post it out later today. But I think we have about 5 spots left or so. And then we're going to do that class next Tuesday night. I'm going to get with Sarge after this, actually. And we're going to prepare for that for a little bit. So just wanted to share that with everybody. Appreciate those that are interested. I'm telling you, this isn't a humble brag, but I'm going to tell you the easiest way to start a podcast and get it going. It's as easy as that. It's worth investing in your career on that. So just wanted to throw that out in the mix here as we're in the phase 2. And of course, you can chat into the show. Just use the feature. Let's see. We got Peter. What's up, Peter? Checking in. Trademark that Joe Murray drinking Scorpio Bowls under the sun. I wish I could, my man. Maybe I will trademark. I'm trying to trademark just sitting here at some point. I'm trying to trademark the Bankroll Boys as well. I'm just a walking trademark at this time. Lord Murray's Cup back there too. Trying to trademark that bad boy as well. So a little bit of sports stuff today that I wanted to get into here. I don't really have a platform to talk wrestling. Every once in a while, I'll go on the Wrestling Inside the Ropes podcast with those guys. I have fun with them. I like doing it, but I never have a place to share my own opinion when it comes to wrestling. So I at least wanted to bring up last night's NXT, which I thought was a good event. The Todd Pettengill at the beginning giving out the 900 number, that was interesting. Pat McAfee on the pre-show. Love Pat McAfee. I think McAfee needs to get involved in something, right? I know in football they had him on a couple of college game days and things like that. But if they can get him, I don't know, somewhere I don't know if they can make him a commentator, but if they can get him as the guy that hey, it's Michael Cole standing by, let's go to Pat McAfee in Indianapolis or whatever, and he gives takes, I think that could be really good for NXT. But overall, the In Your House set had that good throwback feel. I enjoyed that last night. It looked really good. It was cool. They came out the door. They came out the garage as well. That was all cool. I hated how they rang the bell twice. Hated that, and I noticed it multiple times during the show last night, but I did hate that. The finishes to the fights bothered the hell out of me. I'll start with the main event, which I'm still interested that it was the main event, but of course Charlotte was the NXT Championship going up against Io Shirai and Rhea Ripley. There's rumblings on the street regarding Rhea Ripley, how she's not booked very well right now and how she doesn't have the title, and why even Charlotte Flair has the title whatsoever. She fell last night, but she didn't lose. Rhea Ripley got pinned by Io Shirai. I liked that finish based off the way the night went. And I think Shirai having the title is going to be good for NXT. She's over big time. Maybe Rhea Ripley, that's who she can go after. Maybe we'll see some other newcomers. But I'm not ready for the Rhea Ripley era yet in WWE, on Monday Night Raw or SmackDown. And I've seen women in WWE get pushed up too far. I'll use Ember Moon for an example. After she couldn't beat Asuka, she finally wins the title. She gets called up. She becomes obscure. Now she's hurt, and we're not going to hear from her for a long time. I just don't want to see that with Rhea Ripley. I feel like she could really develop as a character down in NXT and then eventually get called up to the big roster. I mean, she's talented enough to be, and I know they're two different promotions now, and it's not so much developmental anymore. I just don't, unless they're trying to cover for the Becky angle, just don't see her being called up just yet. But I thought the finish was right last night. But I didn't like the finish for Finn Balor. Like, what's his role in WWE right now? Like, he's in NXT. He's mid card. Let's face it. Finn Balor's mid card. And that was a guy that was the first Universal Champion ever in WWE. But what's his role? He beats Damian Priest last night. He gets buried. So what's next for Finn Balor? Like, he's a lightweight essentially. And I don't understand why WWE can't book him right. He's over with the fans, right? His demon character is outstanding. Everyone loves that. He's beaten, I mean, think about it, he's beaten Seth Rollins, who's like one of the top guys in all of WWE. But they have to put him in NXT? And I know that people say he'd be great in AEW, but he could be great in WWE. And is it all because Vince thinks he's too small? Is that what it is? Why do you have him get over a guy like Damian Priest if you don't know what you're going to do with him? He's still mid-card. So I don't know. Does he go after Keith Lee next? Does he go after Adam Cole, baby? Is that what happens? Also, the Gargano Keith Lee. I like Keith Lee coming in. His wardrobe, everything, all that was outstanding. But Gargano's a great heel right now. He's really, I mean, he's kind of getting over. People are, he's one of those guys that probably doesn't need a title. But the fact that he just loses clean to Keith Lee, then what's next for him now? He's not a guy that can just get called up to the WWE roster. It's just he's not one of those guys. But I think his whole career, he's always been, either over or underbooked. And him and Ciampa, that was some of the greatest matches of all time. I'll get into Ciampa in a minute here. But Gargano, Keith, like, what's next for Keith Lee? Finn Balor, that's not big enough for me. Adam Cole, I don't know if they're going to go that route. So I just thought the finishes weren't great. There could have been more stories to the better storylines to the fights last night. It's my own opinion. I enjoy this stuff. I like to watch it. But I just didn't like the way that a lot of those finished last night. The Adam Cole Velveteen Dream fight, it was essentially a wrestling ring in the middle of a parking lot with everybody in their car. I kind of used it as like, imagine the Kowloon have a wrestling ring and all of us in our cars watching. That's what it was like last night. And of course, you get the, the Lucille baseball bat and Dream dressed up like that character. Cole ends up winning. And I'm starting to wonder, will Adam Cole get close to that CM Punk 434-day reign? Wonder if that's something that they're looking into there as a storyline. Finally, Killer Cross, or Karrion Cross, excuse me, and Scarlett Bordeaux. Woo! How about Scarlett Bordeaux? For those who didn't watch last night, yeesh. Yeesh. Woo! She's more than a lady. Let me tell you. I guess we got some breaking news in Major League Baseball that I'll get to in a minute here. Trying to find the update there if anybody cares. But getting back to show, I don't want to interrupt the Scarlett Bordeaux talk, but man, she's coming in hot. She's coming in strong. And her gimmick with her boyfriend's working out pretty well. So overall, last night I thought NXT was a good event. I didn't love the finishes, but it was good. I'm interested in what's going to happen at Backlash in a week from now. So we'll take a look at that. Also, UFC 250, a great card, right? Amanda Nunes is the best woman fighter of all time. Now, Felicia Spencer went the distance. She's got a tough chin. She's had back-to-back fights now. It's Cyborg and Nunes where she's gotten the shit beat out of her, but she's gone to the end. It's impressive, but she's not at the level of Amanda Nunes, and it's clear. It was clear as day. Nunes is the greatest woman fighter of all time. I don't know what's next for Amanda Nunes. She's pretty much cleared out both divisions entirely. I mean, you could do Valentina as a trilogy. Megan Anderson at 145. There are no contenders. They don't exist. What she has done in little time is ridiculous and impressive. And she might be the greatest woman fighter of all time. You know what? She is the greatest woman fighter of all time. I think Amanda Nunes is outstanding. She's, to me, she might be on top of what's happening in UFC. Now, Sean O'Malley, I had him. Sorry, was it Sean O'Malley? I had him in that fight in Garbrandt. Both those finishes were outstanding. Obviously, the walk off with O'Malley, Garbrandt with the nice little 1-2. Those are pretty much the big takeaways as far as UFC 250 went. But after UFC 250, Conor McGregor announces his retirement. Do you believe his retirement? Because I don't. There's money still on the table. He can still fight. But I think this is actually a great play from Conor McGregor. And normally I am out on these type of situations. I am out. But here, he's got his whiskey deal. He could do another boxing event. Floyd Mayweather went at him last night, trying to already start something. Hey, man, you quitting? WWE is always in the future for him. But UFC has its own concerns. Like Stipe Miocic, he doesn't fight often. The heavyweights just don't fight often. I know Francis Ngannou's up and coming, but I know he's a big dude. Is he a big draw? Maybe. Maybe he's getting there. But John Jones giving up the belt, he could be leaving. There are guys retiring early in that sport. They make their money and they retire early. There are a lot of events. This has been the 5th event in, I think, like 9 weeks. Let's not forget they're all getting excited about this Fight Island thing that we don't know about. But I think this is a huge leverage play for Conor McGregor, and it's very smart. He could walk away from it, make all that money with the whiskey, or be a commentator, or do something different. Or he can get the payday of his life. He can have another rematch with Nate Diaz. He can fight Masvidal. He can fight Khabib. Like, there's a lot for him on the table when it comes to UFC. Dana White, even after the event, was like, this guy's all along said he wanted to fight. So maybe Dana looks at it as a little bit of a ploy too. But this is going to be a money grab for him. He can do what he wants at this point. It's smart. Now, I don't like the guys who come out and say they retire and everyone, eats it out. I don't think we're eating that one up right now. But when it comes to Conor McGregor, that's a good ploy for him. Say you're not fighting, then get a huge payday. I just hope he stays in shape. That's the biggest thing for me when it comes to me. M. Cadlick is saying hell no. I don't know what you're saying hell no about. Maybe about Conor McGregor retiring. Maybe. You can chat in on the show. Of course, here on what are we on? We're on Twitter, Facebook, and in Periscope. So just wanted to wrap up with a couple of things when it came to wrestling and UFC last night. UFC on Saturday night. Again, the UFC events have been very good. And talk about a sport that has taken advantage of no other competition at this point. It's been outstanding. But again, casual fans, are they really watching? I don't think so. I don't think they have been watching. But I do think this could be a huge leverage play for Conor McGregor, and I think he can get a huge payday as well. I'm going to look into this this baseball proposal that came out in a minute. I'm going to search Twitter here. So if you guys have anything going on when it comes to, if anything comes on with this Major League Baseball thing, I'll bring it to the table. Someone's asking me, how mean is John Wallach? What are you talking about? I love John Wallach. He's the man. With the conversations we have during the break are outstanding. And I'll tell you right now, he's one of the coolest dudes at the Sports Hub. You wouldn't think it, right? One of the coolest dudes at the Sports Hub. I've actually really enjoyed my time with Johnny Wallgame, and we've been hanging out, shooting the breeze about life lately, talking about things outside of radio. He's a cool dude. So yeah, I would never say, dude, there are no jerks at the station, by the way. I get that question all the time. Like, hey, who's the biggest jerk of this day? Like, we don't have those guys. It just doesn't happen. All right. So I'm reading into this in a little bit here. Kyle Ravitch from ESPN. MLB has made a proposal to players. 75% prorated salary, 76 game season, playoff pool money, No draft pick compensation for signing a player. Season finishes September 27th. Postseason ends at the end of October. Wow. So if I get this, 75% is prorated. There'll be 76 games. There'll be playoff pool money. There won't be that compensation for signing a free agent, which I think some teams love or maybe stay away from some guys. And the season will finish on September 27th. Postseason ends on October 31st. This is from Carl Ravitch about an hour ago. Jeff Passan now, one high-ranking official said today, it's not on certain terms. There will be baseball. The question is, will it be the sides agreeing to a deal with the league implementing a 48-game schedule with no expanded playoffs? We'll find out on that one. That's interesting. MLB's current offer to the players is compared to the least offers a possible 48-game season. That came in 31 minutes ago from Jeff Passan. So I'm waiting on this stuff. There's a lot of reports coming out on it. I know that there was a conference call. Here we go. Bob Nightingale, USA Today. Okay, so this looks like it's legit. Major League Baseball Players Association on Monday considered MLB's latest offer that proposed a 76-game season while guaranteeing 50% of their prorated with the opportunity of earning 75% of their salaries. The people spoke with the proposal. So the Colin Ravitch thing is on the table, but they're considering it a step backwards. Let's find out what happens on that one. MLB originally proposed an 82-game season with a sliding scale. It has the right to implement a 48 to 54-game schedule that will pay players the full prorated salary. So that might be the way to go here. Whatever. Do you care about baseball at this point? Do you care about baseball? Do you want me to go on and blah, blah, blah about what could happen or what could not? So I guess I'll leave it at that. But baseball right now, if they're going to get it done, dude, it's 11:55. And you got 5 minutes to do the deal. Or you're going to lose my ass. I'm telling you right now. I don't care. No, I don't care because I'm not going to the ball game. If it's on television, I'll probably watch it. But once basketball heats up and hockey playoffs, and then we get football coming around, preseason football in August, the season starts in September, I'm out. And even if the Red Sox are in it or a big market team, am I going to watch? I don't know. I don't know. How entertaining is it going to be? There's a lot of things to consider here when it comes to Major League Baseball. So feel free to throw that out there during the show. Do you feel like you even care about baseball at any point? So we mentioned the Phase 2 announcement. I got into some NXT thoughts and also UFC 250 and Conor McGregor in his retirement. Wanted to mention that I watched a few movies this weekend. I watched a movie called The Wrong Missy. It's with David Spade, Rob Schneider's in it. It's about a dude that goes on a blind date. It was bad. Meets another girl that he likes and invites the wrong girl on vacation, whatever. It was funny. It was stupid, but it was funny. And I liked it. I liked it a lot, actually. So if you get a chance, it's on Netflix this week. I've been scouring the end of the world on what to watch anymore when it comes to what's on the television. I recorded the Bruce Lee documentary last night. I just watched Insecure. If you like that show, they got one more show to go on that one. And then it's like, what am I going to do from now on? I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm running out of television to watch. I've gone to the end of the internet at this point. Like, it's all gotten boring. It's all gotten boring. But the Wrong Missy, I'd recommend it. Watch it with the wife. Watch it with a girl. It was funny. You'll like all the characters. It's a Happy Madison promotion. What's the deal with Happy Madison, by the way? Every single movie. How many movies have been in Hawaii? On that, like, what, you got 50 First Dates. You got the other one there. Just what's her name there? Sarah Marshall. Does Adam Sandler just have a deal with like Hawaii? Like, oh, come to us, and film your movie in Hawaii. Hell yeah, to film my Hawaii movie in Hawaii. But like, what's up with him? He's got like some sort of deal, And Rob Schneider always plays a character where he gets beat up, which it's kind of funny actually if you get a chance to watch that movie. Another movie that I watched this week, it's an oldie but a goodie. Stand By Me. Watching it there, I don't know what really happens at the end. Like, there was an anonymous call to pick up the dead body. There was a little confrontation there between River Phoenix and what's his name there from 24, Jack Bauer guy, Kiefer Sutherland. Whatever happens to those guys? The kids just walk home and go on their own way, and then it's like, oh yeah, well, this dude, became a lawyer and then died, and then this guy, went away and works odd jobs, and then the other guy got married and had kids, and then the other one's Richard Dreyfuss, who had no friends ever again after that. Whatever happened to Kiefer Sutherland and that crew? Well, don't make me read the book. I don't want to read the damn book. What happened to them? And those leeches freaked me out. Damn leeches. And then you never want to play dodgeball with a train. Dodging with a train, out on that. So anyways, I watched that movie this weekend and I came away with a lot of questions. Like, where were their parents? What did they tell the kid? Hey, oh yeah, we're all staying here. We're doing this. What did they do? Oh, nice. Chris Carroll checking in. They became vampires and joined the Lost Boys. That is a good point. That's a good point. But it's like, what happened to Kiefer Sutherland, dude? Like, he was like, yeah, man, I got a knife, dude. Yeah, like, and they play like that. They hit everybody on the barrels, and like the two dudes are like, yeah, man, we're kind of like all set. And the other part about it was one crew was a brothers crew, and then they were like brothers. The younger kid had his crew, and then their older brothers hung out with that jerk off. And like, I don't know. I just watched that movie and I had a lot of questions. Vodka not. Or Vodcano or whatever. Watch Brockmire. If you'd like Dave, you'll love Brockmire. I love Dave. It's awesome. So it was actually my favorite show in quarantine. Out of every show I've watched, that was my favorite. Brockmire, I've watched one episode. It was funny, but is it like Dave? No. So if you got any suggestions, I'd watch that. And if anybody saw The Wrong Missy, you should watch that too, or give me your thoughts on that. I thought that was pretty good. Also, this weekend, I bought a grill 4 years ago, a stock grill, STOK. Bought a stock grill about 4 years ago, and this weekend it just shit the bed. And like, being a homeowner, man, when things start going on you, like I had the hot water thing one day, then like my thermostat didn't work in the house, and then I had a TV break. So I bought all that shit in the last month. I had a 55-inch TV just fall off a stand. I just bought another one now too. And those smart TVs, dude, they got everything. It sucks because cable has us by the balls, right? We need their internet service, but we need HBO too, right? And we need like NBC Sports Boston. Besides that, I don't need them. Give me Netflix and all those other free shit that they give you. Smart TVs are great, but cable, man, what a racket cable is. What a complete racket. They are just like raking on us, right? I bet you like people paying like $230 a month. Now I will say this: there are some other plans out there. Like there's a local one in Boston where like I'm like, this is terrible. So at least the one that I have, I can talk into the remote. I can talk to it. I can be like, hey, baby, put on the Shawshank Redemption, and it puts it right on. I think that's fun. But the other ones, man, it's like, oh, you got to download this HBO Go app to get it to work. It sucks. I don't know where I'm going with all this. Anyways, so yeah, I bought a new grill. And I was like, all right, what do I do? Do I buy like, because the Weber's the best, right? Weber's the best. So I went to one establishment and I'm like, all right, I want to see if there's more out there though. So I went to another establishment. I had to wait in the line to get in, of course, with my mask. and it was a little bit cheaper. And so I ended up buying a Weber grill with three burners this week. And damn, I cooked on that bad boy yesterday. Cooked a couple of burgers. Outstanding. So I recommend a Weber grill. Now, I know there are other options out there, probably cheaper. But I was very happy with my purchase. And I can't wait to cook all sorts of other stuff on there, whether it's steak tips or chicken kebabs. Or maybe put some corn on the cob on that bad boy. Maybe some scallops. I don't know. We'll have some fun with that. Excuse me, this summer. I look forward to cashing in on some grills. So that's pretty much it for me today. You know, there's the NXT out there. There's the UFC. Major League Baseball's trying to do something right now. Searching the Twitter sphere as I'm talking to you guys here. And the latest offer includes a 76-game season, considered a step backwards. I think I'm done. I think I'm done with baseball. I don't think I care anymore. I think you've lost me. You know what would be cool about baseball? If, like, I don't know. I'm trying to think, like, what could be cool. Like, take a year off and figure it out. Maybe contract some teams. Like, get rid of some teams. You don't need all those teams. Plus, the guys who get cut, they're going to need work because they already fired all the minor leaguers. So they're going to have to do something. Excuse me. My throat was a little parched there. There was no hold button there for me. But I don't care about baseball. Anyways, let me give you this thought I had on NBA. So obviously the NBA is coming back on July 31st. And they're bringing 22 teams in. So essentially 8 teams will not make the playoff. So what are those 8 teams going to do right now? What are they going to do? Sit at home? Like, what's Steph Curry doing? Just hanging out? I have an idea. There's a lot of talk about the ping pong balls, right? People like, oh, the draft lottery and the ping pong balls, and it's rigged and blah, 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 blah. How about we out on the ping pong balls? Out on ping pong balls and have those 8 teams do a tournament to get the number 1 overall pick. How about that? How do you feel about that? Every team that's not in the tournament, that's not in the playoff, they all play, and then the winner gets the number 1 pick. And then whoever finishes, the runner-up gets the 2nd pick. But, like, I don't know, why should the Knicks be benefited with the number 1 overall pick for not making the playoffs? And then doing nothing the whole entire time? It's just a hot take. Just trying to make my take a little hot there. But maybe that's something the NBA should consider. I mean, shit, maybe it's another way that we can watch, right? I want to see Steph Curry in the playoffs. It gives him incentive to play. So let these teams play it out. And if you win that little 8-team tournament, you get the number 1 overall pick in the draft. So you screw the ping pong balls. We don't need ping pong balls to decide the future of NBA teams. We don't need that anymore. We don't need it. So all those teams that are at home, what do you think they're doing right now? Nothing. They're doing nothing right now. Just a suggestion on my part, anyways. Again, this is the Just Sittin' Here podcast. I'm Joe Murray. Of course, you can follow me on Twitter at Joey Murr. Comments coming in today, of course. You can listen to previous episodes, Spotify, YouTube, and on iTunes. Feel free to send in a Q&A that you have. I'll be here for probably another 5 or 10 minutes if you want. If not, I'll get out of here, and I'm going to go to the beach tomorrow. How about that? Boom. Going to go to the beach, 80 degrees, next 2 days. I'll be on Friday night, I believe, with Adam Jones as well. I'm working on Sunday, 10 to 1 on the radio as well. We get the Bankroll Boys on Saturday. So I'm a busy man. Even though I'm just sitting here, I'm fairly busy. I'm trying to keep myself busy at least as well. And, of course, we can't forget the old pod class that I'll get into coming up in just a little bit. Thoughts on Bill Simmons getting destroyed for the lack of diversity? Listen, the NFL's come out and apologized. Other people have come out and apologized. I don't think Bill. I don't know Bill Simmons. I don't know him personally. I think we all need to do a better job of listening. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. We can all do a lot better by listening up. These days. So that's it, people. That's all I got. I had thoughts on UFC. I was just gonna rant. So if you got any questions, do a little Q&A here. I'll let it set up for a minute here. And then that's probably it for me. Again, wrestling. Monday Night Raw tonight. I'm interested to see what happens with that. We got Backlash next week. I guess one match has already been recorded, so that's cool. I'm going to check out the Bruce Lee documentary tonight. I'll probably have an update on that for you in just a little bit. I've already crushed 2 lobster rolls, hot buttered this summer. One from the Sea Witch on Route 1 and the other from Joe on a Roll in Beverly. So those 2 were very good. Is there a date set for the NHL return? So I believe Phase 3 will begin on July 10th, but there's no rush to get back. So I think Phase 3 for them is July 10th, but listen, they still have to get players to come over from country. They have to quarantine. The individual workouts are happening right now. I know the individual workouts are happening with the NBA players as well, but there's no date set. I'm excited for what happens with basketball. We'll find out. Hey, Joe, you start looking at odds for the Chuck Schwab tourney this weekend? Yes, I have. So we're doing these things called the Players Card. They're every day at 8:30 on Toucher and Rich. And I gave out 2 picks yesterday. Rory McIlroy, I believe, was the winner last year. I actually have the odds from DraftKings in front of me. But I do have 2 picks for tomorrow, and I know that Dan Lifshatz gave out a pick today. So just a couple of things I want to throw out at you regarding the Charles Schwab tourney. These golfers have been off for a little bit. They've been off. So do you really want to go square? Like, the guys at the top, you might want to stay away from a little bit. Think about the guys that we've seen of late, right? The Dustin Johnsons, the Rory, the Ricky Fowler, like those type of guys. I know Fowler hasn't won. He's what one tournament in his last 40 months or whatever. But he did finish in a top 5 at the Colonial. And again, we saw him in that Skins Challenge. So that's one guy I have my eye on is Ricky Fowler. I'm looking at a mid-tier golfer to come away. But what's great about betting on golf, for those who don't know, you can actually bet where they're going to finish. So, like, if you like a golfer and you think he's going to, say you have a golfer to win it, right? Why bet on the win it when you can bet them plus 800 to finish in the top 5 or plus like 350 to finish in the top 10? So that might be something to consider when it comes to a lot of these golfers when it comes to betting. I'll tell you a quick story years ago. If you remember when Tiger Woods picked up a ball once and the whole world went crazy, like, oh, why did he pick up that ball? And they costed him a stroke. Well, I bet a matchup in that one. I suggest don't bet matchups when it comes to golf. Things can happen, and this is after the hole. It happened online, but if that was a ticket in Vegas, if I had that ticket, I would have cashed my ticket that day and won that money. So I try to stay away from matchups. Like, for example, if Rory McIlroy goes up against Jon Rahm and you bet on who is going to win that match, I just stay away from those. I stay away from them. Anything can happen, especially if you're betting online or at an app. They can pull money away. They can say, oh, well, a stroke didn't count or anything like that. So I'm going with a mid-tier golfer for the Charles Schwab. It starts on Thursday morning. And again, I have picks tomorrow on Toucher and Rich. You can hear those. I got 2 picks for you. 8:30 tomorrow. The players card, the DraftKings players cards on 98.5 The Sports Hub. So that's pretty much it when it comes to golf, and we're trying to bet on whatever we can these days, right? I mean, that's pretty much what's happening here in the world. So that's it, man. Q&A is on the table if you want. I'm here for another couple of minutes. If not, I'm going to bounce. Enjoy the rest of my day. I got a call at 6 o'clock to come into radio, so I'm glad to do that. Happy to do that at any time. I wanted to do the podcast today so I can get some of my thoughts out on here. And I know there's a bunch of people checking in right now. No quick drive up to New Hampshire. Dude, I could do it, but I'll just go in a different direction of that one. Lord Murray's Cup, yes. Right over my left shoulder, I believe, is if you're looking at my screen. I hope it's that one. Lord Murray's Cup made over a year ago. I believe at this point, a year ago, we were in the Stanley Cup final. Lord Murray's still going. I got the Wilburys in the back. I got a Larry Bird right Auerbach. I got the Velveteen kick in the snow. I was at that game. I was right up below the goalpost. I can see my hoodie actually in that picture. And then I got the Goodfellas. I got a bunch of other stuff down here. I got a Godfather. I got a Shawshank Redemption. I got a Biggie Smalls. I got a Dr. Dre. I got a Fleetwood Mac. I got a Pink Floyd. I got a Led Zeppelin. What else? Red Hot Chili Peppers. I got Rolling Stones. Biggie Smalls. So that's it. That was a classic weekend show, and I'll be on this weekend for what I heard, tentatively 10-1. So we'll have a Joe Show extravaganza, possibly this weekend here as well. So just to wrap things up again, started off with the phase 2. There was an announcement today. There are some things we can and can't do, but we can drink outside. We can eat outside, and things are slowly getting back to normal. I declared Amanda Nunes the greatest women's champion of all time. She's better than Ronda Rousey, better than Cyborg, better than Holly Holm, better than any other woman fighter of all time. She has no competition lined up for her unless she fights Valentina again, even though she's 2-0 against her. I can't see another opponent for her. Megan Anderson, I don't know. Maybe that could happen. Not sure if I want to see that. There are no contenders. She is the best. Also, Conor McGregor announced his retirement this weekend. I don't necessarily agree with the retirement but what I do agree with is that I think he can get a huge payday. I do. I think he can get a huge payday. And I wonder what he's going to do. He's got the whiskey thing going. There's a lot of things there. I mentioned how the NBA should create some buzz. Maybe the 8 teams not invited to the playoff should have like some sort of tournament to determine who gets the top 8 picks and the number 1 pick. I think that's better than a damn draft lottery. And Major League Baseball had a conference call today. They brought it down to 75 games. Doesn't look like they're happy about that. Do you even care about baseball at this point? Do you even care? That's where we're at with that. And then I mentioned the NXT in your house. We saw Todd Pettengill. I think Pat McAfee deserves a job. I don't know what's going on with Finn Balor. The Gargano-Keith Lee match was good, but what's next for Gargano? Adam Cole could be the longest champion in history. Could he beat CM Punk's? That's still up there. Does he have a new contract as well? That's something I actually didn't discuss today, but reports are that he did sign a new contract. Also, Scarlett Bordeaux, woof, Killer Cross or Karrion Kross beat Ciampa. He's going to get a huge push. And then I mentioned the weekend watch list. The Wrong Missy was good. I enjoyed it, and I watched Stand By Me again. 2 for flinching, everybody. Bought a new grill. And then one last thing is, can't forget about this. Tuesday, June 16th, via Zoom at 6:30. We're going to teach you the equipment, audio editing software, video streaming, branding, everything you need for your podcast. If you want to start a podcast, we're going to tell you real easy how to do one. Invest in your career and continue on. So that's it for me. I was going to bang out an hour today, but you know what? 45 minutes looks good to me. So that's it, everybody. I'm Joe Murray, just sitting here. I got a lot of stuff going on this week. I'm doing a lot more work than I thought I did. The reason why I started this podcast in general was simply because I was sitting here doing nothing. Now like I said, I worked 6 days last week. I'm already on today. I'm working Friday. I got something going on Thursday. So there's a lot of stuff happening. So I'm not sure if I'll be on tomorrow. It's TBD for that one. But we are going to get it back up with guests this week. And again, things are starting to get a little busy now, right? Phase 2 is going on. I want to hit up the beach at some point this week. Like, that's something I'm really looking forward to. Like, I've worked 2 jobs for a long time, and I got some time off right now. So I want to take a little bit of advantage of that. And then I'm going to be doing a ton of radio with holidays and everything coming up over the next couple of weeks. So trying to stay here, trying to stay busy. And again, the reason why this podcast happened was, well, was just sitting here. A couple of questions before we get out of here. Is the class full? It's not. We have about 5 people left to sign up. So if you're interested in doing a podcast, and that's not just a sports podcast. Like, let's say you want to do music or politics or whatever. And there's some great products to use. I love this one. I'm going to tell some people about that. What's different about this, though, is I stream this out to my audience. My audience is Twitter and it's Facebook. I'd love to get it on Instagram Live, and I'm working on that. I just need to come up with a few things to do so. But there's about 5 more spots or so. If we get a ton more, we're going to do a second class. And myself and Sarge are actually going to be working on that about a half hour or so. We're going to jump on a call and start working on that in just a little bit. And then, are the ranges open in phase 2? I believe they are. I saw today that there were. So, yeah, I saw some people the other day at Richardson's down in was that Middleton? I saw that the other day. But yeah, the ranges are open. I'd probably call ahead just to make sure. But yeah, everything right now is by appointment, dude. Like, to buy my grill, I didn't have to make an appointment, but I thought I was going to have to. So bird chickening. Yes, golfing ranges are open. Anywho. Don't forget, you can listen to all our previous episodes, including the one with Bird, on Spotify, YouTube, and on iTunes. I'm Joe Murray, just sitting here. Probably going to be off the next couple of days. I'll be back at it Thursday and Friday this week. I got a couple of guests lined up for you as well. So that is it for me. Stay tuned to Twitter on any of this. Stay tuned on any of this. What's it called? Baseball stuff. I'm an owner and I'm going to lose $10 million a year. And the baseball guys don't want to play. Like, I'm only going to get a little bit of money if I play. Like, dude, we don't care about you anymore. Like, we don't care about you. That's what's going to happen. Anyways, I'm getting out of here for today. Thank you, everybody, for checking in. Once again, just sitting here on Spotify, YouTube, and on iTunes. I'm Joe Murray. Talk to you guys sometime this week.